My next guest is a UFC veteran who's going to be taking on Dominic Mazzotta at Bellator 197 on April 13th. It is Josh Sampo joining me here on the program for the very first time. Josh, how are you?
Doing good, man. Just chilling in lovely rain-filled St. Charles, Missouri, but doing good.
And I'm chilling here in snow-filled Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So we both could be wishing for some better weather, that's for sure. But Josh, a lot of people watching this will obviously remember you from the UFC. You haven't fought since 2015, and I know that you had some fights lined up in RFA, and that didn't work out. I think the big question people want to know, why have you been out of the sport for so long?
Well, before, kind of weird. My life kind of took a weird twist. Probably about 4 weeks before my last UFC fight, my dad passed away.
Oh, wow.
So okay. Kind of dealing with the family issues, taking care of my mom. I didn't really expect for it to take that long, but I live in Missouri, teaching, coaching, everything out here. I did my last fight camp in Southern California. So on my way through, I stopped in to see my dad, and he passed the night before I got there.
Wow.
So dealing with that weekend, and then everybody's like, you should kind of back out of the fight. And I was like, no, like he taught me to be a man of my word, and I was physically fine. So I was like, no, I'm going to do the fight. I'm physically capable. I'm able, ready to do all this. And so I went to California, did a training camp, had a great training camp. And the fight didn't go the way we wanted it to. Certain things just didn't line up for me. Felt like I was chasing him around the ring a lot. I wish he would have stepped in and kind of fought me a little bit more, but that's kind of the fight game. It's more based on wins and losses and putting on an exciting fight. And so after that, I went right back to Vegas, take care of my mom. And I told her, I'll head out whenever she feels that she's ready. And it took about a year. So that's why I was kind of that layoff. And then when I got back to St. Louis, started working and kind of getting things back going, trying to get a fight. Just things weren't lining up. And then I started teaching again. So I am a 7th grade science and special ed teacher.
Oh, cool.
So I do that through the year, as well as coaching high school wrestling. And that kind of takes up a majority of my time. Still constantly training. But just a fight just never lined up, and until RFA popped up, which was awesome. I was like, it's local. We're going to make this happen. And then a week before the RFA fight, I caught pneumonia. So I had to back out of that fight. It's just one thing after the other. And after that kind of subsided, we just kind of went back to training, whatever. I'm always searching after that coveted black belt, so that's what I'm working towards, my black belt in jiu-jitsu. So it's like I haven't taken – I'm not just sitting on the couch. You know what I'm saying? I'm constantly training and working. Like I said, I coach high school wrestling, so I'm wrestling with my kids as much as possible. So by no means am I just been sitting on the couch. But yeah, life has kind of threw me some twists and turns. But back in Missouri, back training and teaching and living life and taking the opportunity that comes my way.
So how did this opportunity with Bellator come about? Because this is a huge fight. You're taking on one of their best prospects, and you're fighting for one of the biggest promotions in the world.
I know that the undercard matchmaker, Jesse Finney and Rob Donaker for Shamrock, they had mentioned to me they wanted me to fight, and I heard that Bellator was coming to town. And the main cut man for Bellator, Matt Marsden, is a real good friend of mine. And so I knew that it was coming to town. I was kind of hoping that things could work out to me get on the card, and it didn't seem like things were going to happen. And then probably about, I'd say 9 weeks before the fight, my manager called me and was like, hey, they got an opening for you. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, you're willing to go 35. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever needs to happen to make this work. And he goes, all right, cool. And then he's like, I'll talk to you later. And everything panned out. I got a contract in the mail or in the email, and I'm fighting Dominic Mazzotta. So it's, glad that it finally came to fruition. And here in about 3 weeks, we'll get to throw some leather.
And this is on the prelims. I'm assuming this is just a one-fight deal, or did they assign you for multiple fights?
As far as I know, it's just a one-fight deal. But I can't pass up any kind of opportunity at this point.
Of course not.
Especially I talked to a couple other managers, some other guys big in the fight game, and I was asking them why that I had not been able to get fights. And the consensus was that the biggest reason was because I've been inactive. And it's hard to sign an inactive fighter. And I was like, all right, the only way to get active is to get fights, and I can't get fights because I'm not active. It's that vicious cycle. So I just can't pass up on opportunities, regardless if it's one fight, 10 fights. I don't care. I'm gonna fight whenever the opportunity allows me to.
Did they say a specific reason about being inactive, why that would get promotions not signing you? Is that they're worried you're not going to be able to fight, or what? What sort of that seems kind of weird to me.
Yeah, they never really give me specifics, but I think it's based on different ranking systems. If you've been active for over a year, they drop your name off. So when they look up the name, they don't see, that he's still training and stuff like. They don't see my day-to-day life. They just see what I've done in my last fight. So that kind of works against me. But then again, that could be a gem in disguise. You never really know. So
that's interesting because you're a UFC veteran. I think that's usually like a badge of honor. No matter what, you always carry that throughout your career. You're a UFC veteran. That seems kind of odd to me, but hey, I don't make those decisions. I just think that's a little strange. But either way, good to see you getting this fight. Big fight against Dominic Mazzotta. Moving up to bantamweight. I imagine the plan is to go back down to 25 after this, or are you planning to stay at 135?
I am honestly comfortable wherever it is. I mean, at this point, the day of weigh-ins, we all step on the scale. We have to weigh the same. So if I fight 25 or 35, I'm fine with that. I feel that I'm a really big 25-pounder, and that takes a lot of discipline to stay down to that weight. And I'm comfortable at 35 too. I mean, he's what, 5'7", So I mean, he's not that much bigger than people that I train with. So it's not like it's going up that big of a weight jump. So I'm comfortable either way.
And how do you feel like you match up against Mazzotta?
I think it's going to be an exciting fight. I think that he's dominantly a ground guy. Most of his wins are by ground. He loves his ground and pound. He's real scrappy on his feet. He's a very well-rounded fighter. So I think and one thing I really, really am excited about is the fact that he likes to fight. He likes to get in there and go after the action. So I'm excited about that. My last 3 UFC fights, it felt like I was chasing a guy around the ring, but I don't think that's going to be the case with this opponent. I think that he's really going to step up and bring the fight to me, and I'm excited about that. I get to actually showcase my skills, not only in a completely different venue, but in front of my family and friends as well. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Do you feel like the pressure's on him in this fight? He was the prospect they signed, the year before. He didn't have a very good debut. He won his last fight, but they just re-signed him to a new contract. You're on a 1-fight deal. It's kind of looking this way, like you don't really have that much to lose, whereas he seems to have a lot more to lose. Do you kind of look at it that way?
Pressure is what you make it. I mean, you can put as much pressure on yourself as you want. But, I mean, I do this because I love fighting. It's not my career. It's not something I have to do to make money. I don't know if that's his route or whatever. So this might be how he makes pays his rent and pays his bills. I don't. I do this because I love the sport. I enjoy it. And I think that gives me an edge because then I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm doing it for the passion. I'm doing it for the love of the combat. So I don't know if he puts a lot of pressure on himself that could work against him, but he seems like he's a level-headed guy. He seems like he's very professional in what he does. So it's going to be fun.
And how have you sort of balanced work with training leading up to this fight? Does that sort of taper off a bit, or is it in the classroom right up until fight time?
It's in the classroom right up until fight time. Yeah, I get up early in the morning to get some of my cardio in, get my day going that way, and then as soon as school gets out, then I'm right to the gym, get more workouts in for 2 or 3 different sessions in different disciplines, and then back. My girlfriend's a nutritionist and
nice.
Personal trainer herself, so she kind of keeps me on point with that. So it's real good. I think I have everything set up where I need to be to really finally get back at it.
And you mentioned training camp. Who are some of your main training partners that are helping you get ready for this fight?
Jordan Howard trains at my gym. I just actually did a nice little workout with him yesterday. Bunch of 55ers, a lot of bigger guys. Matt Reitzaus is one of my main coaches. He's a Strike Force veteran, just extremely knowledgeable guy. These guys just constantly dump knowledge into me, and I'm trying to soak up as much of it as possible. So I've got some not a lot of big name guys, but just local guys that push me hard, Yeah,
I know. I know Jordan from. He just fought for Shamrock FC. He's made quite the name for himself as well, which is a good training partner to have. You talked about going to 35 for this fight. I imagine the weight cut's a little bit easier, not having to cut those extra 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's when they said 35, he's like, "Is that an issue?" I was like, "No." I mean, right now I'm sitting at, I think I'm 8 pounds over, fat and happy, eating 3-4 meals a day. So that's a beautiful thing in disguise there. But like I said, on the day of weigh-ins, we both step on the scale at the same weight, so it really doesn't really matter. So.
You're going to get your hand raised, otherwise you wouldn't have taken this fight. But how do you sort of see this fight unfolding on April 13th?
I think it's going to be a battle from bell to bell. I haven't seen a lot of Dominic's fights go the distance. I know he likes to come out hard and heavy, so we'll see how that works for him in the later rounds of the fight. If it takes it to that, I can see this being a 15-minute war. I can see it ending in the first round. But I'm excited. It's going to be. I seriously think it's going to be nonstop action. Okay. That's kind of how I fight. That's how I like to fight, and I think based on what I've seen from Dominic, that's what he likes to do as well.
You're a busy guy, training, working, everything else. What about downtime? Do you get any time to watch any Netflix, play any video games, anything like that?
Yeah, a girlfriend's pretty busy. I'm pretty busy, but that's kind of like our alone time together. We sit down, watch some Netflix, and relax, hang out with our dog. She's a little spazoid, but she's an amazing dog. So yeah, we live together. So I mean, she's here with me all the time, anyways, keeping me on point with that. But we live pretty busy lives, but we take the time to make sure that we get time together.
So if I hacked into your Netflix account and I looked under continue watching, what is it going to say?
Netflix. We're kind of big on Have you seen the Santa Clarita Diet? Or
I've heard of that. I need to check it out. I hear good things.
second season just popped up on that. That's a pretty good show. She's big into like horror films and that stuff. I'm not, but we like stuff like that. We're liking the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's kind of like one of the shows that we watch a lot. Let me see if I can pop this up real quick and even see.
Look at this real-time analysis. I like this.
I can't remember. I mean, because there's about 10 shows she watches 1 or 2 shows that I don't, and I get yelled at if I turn on watch the show without her.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I have to. So it takes just as long because my wife and I have to kind of line up on the timing and everything.
New Girl was another one that we liked.
Okay, but I'm assuming that's her show and you have to watch it, right?
No, that's actually, if you get a chance, that is one of the funniest shows that we've started watching together.
Okay, I can't get into it. I don't know. It's just for me personally, I don't know. It's a tough sell, but I can understand, that it's got some humor to it or whatever. But I don't know. Everyone's different, I suppose. But
yeah, I mean, there's just various shows that we like to watch. Blackish is another funny one.
Yep.
Then The Good Doctor. With me being a sped teacher, and she works for this company in St. Louis called Paraquad. So she works with disabled individuals. Either it's from accidents, military, stuff like that. And she loves her job. She loves helping people in the fitness realm. So we kind of have that connection together. So we watch it's a show called The Good Doctor. The main doctor's he's on the autism spectrum, but he's ridiculous. He's a savant. So, I mean, he knows so much information, but he has horrible social skills. But It's a super cool show because we always thought, we're like, all right, cool, the show's going to turn out to where he's just going to have all the answers, where that's not the case. It's a good show. Then I started watching AP Bio, which is a pretty funny one. There's a lot of good shows on here. I mean, we don't have cable, so I don't get to keep up to date with all the traditional TV shows, but we do have Netflix and Hulu, and that's about all we watch. So.
Yeah, I got the exact same deal, and my wife also watches The Good Doctor, so you got some pretty good taste there. And this is going to be an awesome fight. I can't wait. It's Bellator 197 coming up here April 13th. Josh, it was great getting a chance to talk to you, man. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours, man.
Let's see. Well, my nickname is the Gremlin, so everything's kind of encompassed with that. I think my Twitter is jsampo MMA. My Instagram is MMA Gremlin. I think my Snapchat is Gremlin Time, something along those lines. You'll be able to find me. Facebook, it's just Josh Sampo. I want to thank all my teammates, coaches for all the support. Really don't have many sponsors, I guess, because I've been out of it so long. But all the people that do support me, local family and friends, just appreciate it.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.